Hey guys, Steve Crawford from Your Spending Coach and the XY Academy, and today I'm giving you a really quick overview of what to expect, the outcomes you're going to get from attending a one-day intensive workshop. So let's kick on. First thing is, if you follow the process the same way that we've built it, then eventually you should expect to get really good savings outcomes for your clients. So here what we're showing you is the average results that our clients, our experienced wealth financial planning clients, have received over the previous 3 financial years. Now we haven't updated it for this financial year so far, the one just gone, but all early signs are showing that it's going to end up about the same as last year, which is good. So really what you're seeing here is a gap in between what most people do if they sort of try and manage money themselves, which is the blue columns using ABS data, versus what happens if they have a program and they've got a coach. So the difference between our clients and the average Aussie is 3 things. One, our clients have a reason to save in the first place and they know what it is, and it's strong enough so that they don't spend every dollar and cent that they have. And usually the coach is involved in helping them identify what that is. 2, they have a program that they follow that makes it really easy for them to set a budget, try and stick to the budget using bank accounts so they can see what they've got for spending and what's for savings, and then get feedback on how they're going. And the third element, which we think is extremely valuable, is the role of the coach. So someone that helps them stay accountable to what they said they wanted to do, someone that helps them make changes if they need to, look at different scenarios, get back on track if they come off the rails a little bit, and give them a pat on the back when they're doing really, really well. So clearly this thing works. My job in one day is to try and teach you everything that we've sort of learned over the last 8 years of doing this in our business. Clearly one day is not going to be enough, because if we look at the agenda, it's pretty full on. That's why you guys have also probably signed up for, and I know you have, signed up for the online course. So the online course is designed to take the high level detail that you're going to get out of the workshop and then put a lot more depth behind it. So don't worry if you don't finish the workshop feeling like you have all the answers. By the time you finish the course, you're going to be an absolute expert in theory. Then you need to get off and start doing some practical stuff. So you can see what we cover off. Let's have a look at that in a little bit more detail. So typically when we're talking about a financial coaching program, and that's what you're offering the clients, the financial coach, delivered via a money management program. And the money management program are the 3 components that are underneath it. So budgeting, as I said, setting a target that they're going to use to measure success, and decisions you got to make around there is, using standard budget categories from software, whether you're going to only go forwards with setting a budget or if you're going to use any existing data, tailoring for groups and stuff like that, and we'll look at that in a little bit more detail. Banking, really important. How are you going to set your banking structures up with them? So spending accounts, where they spend their money, storage accounts where they park their money until it gets spent, and then savings accounts, and how you're going to use them, who's going to do the work, which lenders you're going to use, which banks you're going to use, how you're going to integrate between your planning, coaching, mortgage broking offers to get all of this to work. Really important. That's why we spend a lot of time on this in the workshop. Last one is the reporting. So the feedback that you're going to give the clients over the course of weeks, months, quarters, and years. So what are you going to send them? When are you going to send it? How are you going to send it? Who's going to do the work? And what system are you going to use? So really important stuff. These 3 components, when tied together, will form 80% of your money management offer or money management program that the clients run to, which you then coach them around. We're going to kick off though from a business strategy point of view, because what we want you to make sure you're doing is making a decision around what your offer looks like relative to the reason why you want to do it in the first place, which should be either what problem you're trying to solve in the business or what opportunity you're trying to tap into, and usually it's a combination of both. The framework we're going to use to do that comes from the Playing to Win book, which was written by Lafley and Martin, Procter & Gamble and Rollins School of Management. Ridiculously intelligent and successful individuals. There's no point me building a framework for us to work off. We just go to the best of the best. So before the workshop, you've got to read the 6-page intro. That will give you enough to understand the concepts that we'll talk about. You really should read the whole book, if not before the workshop, by the time you get to your end of your 90-day pilot group, so that when you launch your full offer, you've got, as a team, a fully developed plan. Next, we need to have a client to actually offer our money management program or our financial coaching service to. So we're going to do, in the workshop, we're going to do a client avatar exercise. You guys are going to bring at least one, probably two avatars to work off. And the point of this is the budgeting, the banking, and the reporting. As I said, 80% of it's going to be consistent. Where you're going to get the extra 20% to take it from a good offer to a great offer is going to be around your ability to tailor your offer to your avatars. So examples here, this is one of our avatars. So Sally, financially single. She may be in a relationship, but she keeps all of her money separate from her partner. She's got things that she's looking for help with, but she's also got certain characteristics and traits around what she does. So for example, our Sally singles are very busy, very fashion conscious. So we know when we set up their banking structure, one of the things we'll typically suggest is they might have a standalone looking good account, which is just for clothes, hair, makeup, beauty, stuff like that. Now, not always, and yes, it might be mildly stereotypical, but it's stereotypical because it's driven from having a large number of these clients in our business that we work with. And when it works for one, it typically works for another. We also know because she's flat out all the time, she might not be able to get into every quarterly planning session, or quarterly progress session. Because of that, we developed a video pack. So Sally's were the ones that actually suggested that we send her an update. So now, if she doesn't get in for a live session or a virtual meeting, we'll send her a video highlight pack. It goes for about 10 minutes. She's still getting the information that she needs. It's produced in HD quality, so she can sit there on her phone, plug her headphones in, on the tram, on the bus, on the train, on the way to work, turn her phone sideways and get her own little personal highlights reel. Amazing stuff, or so they tell us. This is why we want you to build your avatar. Because you might have Sally singles, you might have young couples, and there's so many different types. That's going to help me help you shape what your offer is going to look like. Again, the guts of it's going to be the same. When she spends money at Woolies, it's groceries, which is no different to anybody else spending money at Woolies. The difference is going to be around that 20%, as I talked about. How does she interact with the money? How many cards does she need? How many accounts does she need? What format does she want her reports in? How often? How frequent? What language you use? Stuff like that. So a big part of the day is built around that. Budgeting process, 4 components, and we're going to work through each of the 4 different stages. How do you get clients to accept that budgets are a good thing, not evil? What do you do with people that can't accept that? Into stage 2, so awareness. What does it actually cost to be them? Typically, this runs through the first to third month of the program, where they're working out what's a reasonable budget, reasonable trial budget for them to run to. At the end of the third month, they should have a really good understanding of roughly what it costs to be them. Month 3 through to month 9, 12, you're in improvement phase. So here what we're looking at is them starting to narrow the gap between what they said they wanted to spend and what they actually spend, between the highs and the lows, so the numbers get much more consistent. And then into consistent performance. There's deliberate stages they'll move through. Not everybody starts at stage 1, some people are at stage 4, and so on. So your job as a coach, identify the 4 stages, know how to move them through as fast as possible, but not rush them through, because at the end of the day, if they think that this thing's your budget, not theirs, or they're forced into it, or it doesn't fit, it's too tight, or it's too loose, it's not going to work. And within 6 months, you'll have lost them on what could potentially be a 10, 20, 30-year financial coaching journey. So there's a skill, there's an art form and a science, and I'm going to teach you that in the workshop. One of the things I am going to give you guys, which you're not going to get from just using the standard software, is an ability to create a benchmark. And then how do you use a benchmark so that clients can have another way of viewing their budget or their results, apart from just looking at their own targets that they set themselves, because sometimes they're too high, sometimes they're too low. So I'm going to show you how to use that really powerful tool, both in setting budgets up and giving them a bit of a reality check on how they're progressing along the way, or if they want to make changes. Into the reporting, right, so reporting is the feedback loop around how they're progressing towards their targets. So weekly, monthly, quarterly, yearly. We're going to look at what the point of a weekly snapshot is. So what are they actually going to get once a week, And why would you even bother? Is it too much information? How do you highlight? What do you show them? Do you show them everything? Do you just show them bits and pieces? How do you send it to them? Do you use the automated stuff out of the IT platform that you're using? Do you manually generate it or somewhere in the middle? All the pros and cons, all the options, we're going to look through all of that, and you guys are going to make a decision around what you want to do. Monthly, sort of a bit of a holding, like a placeholder between the two important ones, which is weekly and quarterly. Monthly is just about giving them that factual information. So again, what are you going to send them? What are you going to show them? What medium are you going to send it through? Who's going to do the work? That sort of stuff. Quarterly, I think really important. So this is your milestone thing. Same as like a footy analogy. You know, the coach doesn't start the game, the opening bounce, and then just say, we'll see at full time. They check in 3 times. So it's exactly the same with your clients. You want to have an opportunity to check back in. So we're going to help you build a quarterly progress meeting, something that goes for about 30 minutes if you want to, 60 minutes at a stretch, or 15 or 10 if you're doing a turbo session. What's your objective out of the progress session? What's the client's objective? What are you going to give them? What mediums? Again, all of that stuff. Yearly, how do you use last year's numbers to reset for the next year and keep them going with those goals that they're looking for? And then obviously the financial management software you're going to use to run the thing. You know, what's the pros and cons of each of the different options that you've got available to you? Banking, as I said, really important. So how many spending accounts do you want? Storage accounts and savings accounts, they all play different roles. We love the Goldilocks principle here. Not too big, not too small, just right. Sometimes that means 3 accounts, sometimes that means 12. And you're just not going to know until you get in there with the client. So having a methodology, a house view, makes it really easy for you to help them choose the number that suits them best to start with, and then know how to pivot and move around to give them more or less as they grow and change. So we're going to look at your own structure, psychology of spending, you know, what's the difference between a good spender and a bad spender, and how bank accounts can support or detract from that, how to set up that house structure, how to interview a lending partner, a banking partner to buddy with you on this one, how to implement it, who's going to do the work, working with the mortgage team and the advice team, tying it all together, how to tie that into your reporting categories and your budgets as well. So it sounds like a lot, because it is a lot. And then obviously over the course of the year, you got to deliver some stuff. So we're going to get into the next bit, which is what's your new client process look like and what's your ongoing client process look like. The blocks in gold are the ones that specifically relate to the money management components of our offer. The blue bits are the other bits that fit around it. So because you're a traditional financial planning business, or if you're not a traditional financial planning business, I'm going to show you the offer that can be fitted into a planning practice, but also fitted into just a mortgage broking practice, or left as a completely standalone solution. And then some of the tools and technology that we use to deliver on the program. Then you got to price the thing. So we're going to use this as an opportunity to objectively review your current pricing models, see how this is going to fit into it. You want the two complementing each other. You don't want one looking great and the other one looking old or stale, or just saying, why do you price this way for this stuff and that way for that stuff? So we want to try and get this all seamless and tied in together. Finally, you've learned everything, we're ready to go. So you need to roll out a program. Before you hit full launch, we're going to suggest you run a pilot program. So for 90 days, get some friendly clients, get in there, test and learn. So it's pretty close to what you think you're going to do, but you're going to use real life client feedback to work out what you're going to keep doing, stop doing, make changes and stuff like that. Also gives your team time to practice all the different ways of positioning things. So really important. We're going to help you set that up. You're going to have no excuses pack. So you guys are signed up for the kit bag. It's got all of our tools, all of our templates. As I said, there's going to be the online course that's sitting behind this as well. Everything you need to be successful is in there and ready for you to start using. So as I said, getting ready for the workshop, make sure you do your pre-work. Read the Playing to Win book, at least the introductory chapter. Have a rough idea of those 2 avatars, 1, 2 or 3 avatars that you're going to bring, and then we'll massage them out through the day. Set your out of office, right? bugbear. I got 1 day to try and teach you everything I've learned in 8 years. So please don't let emails get through to you. Set an out of office, push them off to someone else. Give me 8 hours and I can try and get you there as much faster than you would be doing it by yourself. Bring a list of your FAQs so that we're ready to go. Otherwise, just let me know if there's anything else that you're going to need before the day. Guys, email me, steve@thexyacademy.com. Jump on the program website, which is yourspendingcoach.com.au. Otherwise, have a fantastic day, and I look forward to seeing you in the workshop soon. Bye.